Hello friends, it's Saturday, August 21st, 2021. There's the infamous or famous Nassau Coliseum, home of the New York Islanders. I am at the East Coast National. It's approximately 10:30 in the morning. It's over there, Hofstra University. Their sports field is over there, multi-sport. This is the furthest I've ever had to park. So, let's go take a look. That wasn't for me. I don't know what that was about. That wasn't for me. So, this is obviously the furthest I've ever had to park. Maybe since the early 90s. I can't even remember. So, let's head inside.
By the time we get in front of the line, but our local show is pretty huge. Yeah. Let's take a walk around. I realized I didn't have my headset on, so you probably couldn't even hear me. You might not even be able to hear me now because it's loud in here. But here we are at the East Coast National. Room is hopping, pretty busy. Not all that big really, but you know, it is what it is. A little preseason football right there for you. But there's a quick little panoramic view there, a little bit. Time to head in and see what I can find. Hey guys, we're at Daryl's Cards. Just looking at his showcase.
This make sure you don't have any other mantle thing that I don't have any other oddball mantle things. Oh, I didn't even see that there.
This is the gentleman that I bought my 53 page from. If you guys have seen my 53 PSA 5 page.
Let's figure it out.
So just trying to give it a little panoramic. Very reminiscent of Jeff Foy Country Cards. And so his stuff presents very well for the grade. So that's the best way to, he doesn't do online at all. But he's got a lot more. I've known this guy for decades, so he's got a lot more wax than he used to have. Sealed packs, PSA packs, Steve wrapped boxes, all that good stuff. We'll just try to sneak in here again one more time for the big boy showcase.
This is bonkers.
It's crazy. Like, even some of those. They're both doing the same thing. Although Hodgins is a lot sooner.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that footage. Not a ton of footage, but some footage. Man, that was a great time. That had a rockin' time, a rockin' Smurf time. And one of the pickups that I've shown my friends already, this was their reaction. This was their reaction. But let's roll it back a little bit. Earlier in the week, a friend of mine who wasn't able to make it to the National said, "Hey, I'm going to the East Coast National. You gonna go?" And, typically I don't go. There's a variety of reasons. Usually a combination of not having the time off and not having the hobby funds anymore after going to the National. Well, going to the National was very good to me this year, and I was able to carve out a couple of hours today to go to the East Coast National. Great. Friends, I told my friend, I'm going to go. Awesome. Can't wait. Haven't seen him in a couple of years. Tells me last night family emergency, he wasn't going to be able to go. Okay. No, am I still going to go? At this point, honestly, I'm a little excited about it. Because where they normally have it in White Plains is about 90 minutes from my house and requires going over a bridge, which is like $12 or something like that. So where they had it this year is 35 minutes from my house with no tolls. They had it, instead of having it in White Plains, Westchester, they had it at Hofstra University, as you saw, right adjacent to the Nassau Coliseum. So, as you have seen already, because I'll start this episode off with the footage. The event was very well attended. It was very crowded. More places than others. And it was just great to see. It was just so amazing to see so many people interacting in so many different ways with the hobby. And we need more of that. I had such a good time. I saw a few of you, I won't name you individually. A few of you came up to me and said hello, I watched the channel, thank you for the content, etc. Very humbling experiences. So, even with the mask on and everything, hey, are you those back pages? Yes, I am. Have a nice conversation. And I can't put into words that's what that aspect of this hobby means to me. The friendship. The cards are amazing. Don't get me wrong. Collecting is fun. It's enjoyable. The cards are amazing. But it's the people, you know, it's the people that make it what it is. Because at the end of the day, cards are just cards, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, because heck knows I love collecting them, and I know you do too. But to be able to share this passion with other people that understand, being in a room full of everyone that, 87 tops to, 2021 tops. It's not you're not speaking Greek to anyone, you're not speaking a foreign language. And I really want to reiterate that I really had a good time today. And I'm going to show my pickups. And one of them is is Stone Papa Smurf for sure. But even if that purchase didn't happen, it was just a complete success today. And it makes me want to go to more shows, if I'm being completely honest. For years and years and years and years, I only went to the National and then would hibernate for 11 years. 11 months. And wait for the next one. The interactions you have with people at these shows is just great. You see all types. From the old heads to the Pelly boys, everything in between, sneaker boys, flippers, whatever you want to call. However you want to classify someone. And everyone should be classified as a hobbyist. I don't care how you do it. If you're here to make money, if you collect Benjamins, you collect base card, I don't care. Doesn't matter. It's important, but it's not important at the same time. But just the experience is great. And I was only there for a couple of hours. I didn't get up early. And actually on the way in, it's funny now that I think about it. In the very beginning where I said there was some hollering, and I said, oh, that's not for me. It actually was for me. After I turned the camera off and I turned around, they started calling my name. It was Suze of Topps fame, Beckett fame. Now she's with Golden, I believe. She has her own. She and her friend Marie have their own card blog, A Cardboard Problem. But I'm pretty sure it hasn't been active in a while, but it's still archived. It's a fun read. So it was her husband Dan, who I've met many years ago, and their young son Dean. I think he's 4 or 5 years old now. I'm not even sure, but so it was great I hadn't seen Dan in probably 7 or 8 years, and I had seen Sue at the National this year. I'm sure many of you had as well. So it was nice to leave from where you saw me filming, walk. We talked a little bit, and then we entered the show, and we went our own ways. And that one of those clips where it was even I explained that I forgot to put the headphones on for the microphone, so it was I didn't even realize it. It was just that great to be in the atmosphere again. So if you have the opportunity to go ahead and see, go to your local show, and obviously that's bigger than, they said 400 tables, it might have been, I didn't count. There's a full gymnasium, but if you have the opportunity to go to even a 50 table show, I would definitely go. I would definitely go myself, because you don't know what you're going to see there. And that leads me to my next point. As much as, 90 plus percentage of collecting is done on the internet, not everything is bought and sold on the internet. The one dealer I featured with the vintage stuff, he doesn't do online sales. So the stuff he's selling, it's transactions are going back and forth. People are buying, he's buying. Like I mentioned in the video and in the clip, and I screwed it up. It's Card Country, not Country Cards. I just had a brain fart just due to the situation, the crowd, and everything else. But it's the great Card Country. If you've gone to the National, you know what I'm talking about. Jeff at Card Country, and I bought my Mano, my Jackie, my Maze rookies, all from him, and 10 years ago. And he's always had amazing stuff for the assigned grade. Now, he's not always the cheapest, but you're getting a card that looks amazing for the assigned grade, and that's what's important. So the dealer I featured today, he's the one I bought my 53-page PSA 5, 53 tops PSA 5 Satchel Paige that I've shown a few times on the channel. And when I show it on the channel, and when I post it on social media, everyone really enjoys it. They say, "Oh, that's great looking 5, yada yada yada," and it is. So it was great to run into him at the show and just see some other people I haven't seen in a while. Not everyone gets to go to the Midwest and Chicago, or Cleveland. There's just people, family situations and whatnot. But of course, I saw dealers there that I see in Chicago and Cleveland and everywhere else. But it was just great to run around, to walk around and see. And I think I didn't even get to the point, but sort of. But another point is you got to know what you're looking at. When you go to these shows, you got to know what you're looking for, and you got to know what you're looking at. Now, obviously, as we enter, we're steamrolling towards 2022, and everyone's got a cell phone, smartphone, and even I did it. I used it today with looking up completed listings on eBay. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't stand at the dealer's table and just pound out on your phone like, "Oh, what did this sell for recently? What are you asking for it? Oh, you're asking $50, but they've been selling for $33." You don't want to. Don't be an a-hole about it. That's a minor case. But if it's a couple $100 card is not cheap. I know it seems cheap to a lot of people now. I can discuss that at another time again. I've done that before. But know what you're looking at. Know what you're looking for. Know what you're looking to pay. It's their card. So if they want to sell it for X and you want to pay Y, they can tell you to go Z off. But yeah. So know what you're looking at when you're walking around, when you see showcases, and if you see a dealer that has a lot of stuff and they don't have what you might have, ask, because they might have it and they just don't have the room to display everything. I've usually had luck with that in the past, but not today. But I was looking around, and one good thing, at least in my opinion, is that I saw a lot of non-10s. And when I say a lot, I don't mean a ton, but a lot more than I usually see. And it's good to see that. It's not always about the gem mint grade. So
my first pickup, and what I thought was going to wind up being my only pickup, was this 2003 Bowman LeBron James rookie. Not the chrome, just Bowman. I'm not using the other word. I really don't like using that word. It's just Bowman. And then back in 51, they didn't call it Bowman, that other word here. But, you know, this is a PSA 7. It was actually in the dealer showcase. So, you know, I said, hey, can I take a look at that? You know, and he had price on the back. And I had known what these have gone for recently. And so, you know, his price was a little bit higher. And it's a 7. You know, so I said, hey, politely, may I have a look at that? He took it out. He took it out of the sleeve for me. And I looked it over. And it's not really going to show up on camera, but it's well centered. You know, there's some issue here on this corner. It's a 7. It's going to have some issues. But a lot of these cards, even the 9s, don't have this. Let me see if I can. This centering is not perfect, but it's good. I've seen 9s that have this centering. And the price jump from you know, a 7 to a 9 is probably, you know, you're looking at a triple. Like an 8 is probably about double what this is, and then a 9 is probably about 50% more what an 8 is. And, you know, I like the card. I'm a big believer in Bowman basketball and Bowman football. So, you know, this is you know, LeBron James that I wanted to have in my collection. So now I'm fortunate enough. I mean, the back usually has a lot of, hold on. Sorry about that. We've got a hurricane warning coming in, so had to prepare the yard. But, yes, the gold version of this has a lot of chipping issues along the back. It's fairly, you know, it's got a glossy surface, so it's not, you know, terribly prone to chipping issues overall. But again, I think this presents very well for the assigned grade, and you know, it fit into what I was willing to pay, what I was willing to spend for my hobby, and have that in my collection. So the LeBron Bowman Rookies and Stars, technically rookie. So as I was, you know, doing my final lap, again, you know what you're looking for, you know what you want to pay, you see something, you go for it. So as I was on, like I said, I was on the way out, I saw a booth that I had glanced over once or twice earlier, and they had a bunch of modern stuff, and this was sitting in the showcase. This is a 2013 Panini Crusade LeBron James. Now, by definition, this is the base version. You know, it's regular card number 238. But, you know, look at that shine. Etching. Etching, right there. Heat, 6. Creases in the uniform, in the jersey. And yet you see the price tag is $80. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. You never pay the price tag. You know, don't be afraid to walk away unless the, you know, the price tag is something that's just ridiculously low. You know, if it's a bargain or a steal, then you just pay it. But you know, I was able to knock $20 off of the price tag on that.
happy to have that in the collection. I think that Kobe's in this set as well. And I've showed off raw versions of this card and the Kobe. But I think that, for a PSA 9 in these times, for a, let's call it what it is pretty much, it's a refractor. LeBron James. That you're just not gonna, how much cheaper is it gonna be? I mean, that's just a great addition to my collection, in my opinion. So that was on the way out. The Bowman Chrome, the Bowman base, and the Crusade, first purchase, last purchase. So I did have one purchase in the middle. Now, when I went to this show, I did have somewhat of a game plan. I had some cards in mind that I wanted to buy. 4 of them. One I actually purchased after the show that is in the mail, so I'll talk about that next time. But I didn't see any of the 4 cards that I wanted to purchase. And again, this is, if I went to the National and didn't see any 4 of these, I'd be a little more surprised. But sure enough, I didn't find any of them. But, as I was looking around with an open mind, just soaking in the environment, having a great time, as I mentioned earlier, talking to people, I saw a card. And I don't know if this has happened to you or not, but I saw a card that just spoke to me. It was a card, it is a card that I didn't think I'd ever own. I've been collecting for a long time. I collect, not everything, but everything. I'm jack of all trades, master of none. That's something I've said for many years. And, the ongoings with Fanatics purchasing the MLB license. People said, oh, buy vintage. It's good. It's safe. Buy vintage. I get that. I totally do. Because I've bought my fair share of vintage. And like I said, I collect everything. So the card that was calling out to me, and I spoke to a dear friend of mine about it. And then I went ahead and I pulled the trigger. And here it is. T206 Sweet Caporal Tie Cobb Portrait Green. A green cob in a PSA 2. I mean, just the centering on this is just, it's not perfect, but I mean, it's a nice rich green, not totally dark green, but there is, upon further inspection, there is a very, 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 I'm not even going to be able to point it out on this video, but a very, very light crease just by the cheek, running over a little bit. I don't think that's even going to pick it up. But wow, there's the back. That's just, this is a, I don't want to say grail or anything, but this is a card that I never thought that I would own. I mean, it's just it's a green cob. You don't have to say T206, Sweet Caporal, 360-30, Tie Cobb, Portrait Green. You just say green cob. It speaks for itself. I mean, this is, of the 4, he's got the green cob, the red cob, the bat off, and the bat on. He's got 4 different cards in this set. I'm fortunate enough to own the bat on, which is probably the quote-unquote least of the 4. but it is one of the 4 nonetheless, and I've had that for a long time. And just having the opportunity to add this card to my collection is just, it's you know, here's your "that's what she said" moment, but it's mind-blowing. I mean, it just is that you know, I can say I own, you know, a green Cobb, and that's the stoned Papa Smurf reaction that a lot of my friends had when I showed them this card. And it's just incredible to own this card. And yeah, it's you know, I will not be answering any financial questions about this card, so you know, obviously you can ask, but I will not be answering that. But you know, I will say that this card was purchased from Daryl, who I featured earlier in the video, who I've known for a long time. And you know, he gave me a very good price. Not a great price, a very good price. And you know, even as we were finalizing the deal, I said, you know, let's take that 50 off. I need to win. You know, I need to feel like I won. And he says, okay, we're friends, we can do that. But you know, this is not a card I would buy on the internet. And honestly, this is a card that hasn't been on the internet. So, you know, that you go to these shows, you're never going to know what you're going to find, what you're going to see. And, you know, if we were having a talk last night and you said, Eric, tomorrow, that's 24 hours from now, you're going to own a green Cobb, I probably would have laughed at you. But here we are, and so proud to add this to the collection. It's a vintage card, you know. It's 12 years old now. So, and to be just to have that, you know, my favorite color is green, and you know, I've looked at this thing 15 or 20 times tonight while working. Just, I mean, I have it sitting on my desk. And I just have it over here. You know, Rocker Smurf and Stone Smurf and Share Your Knowledge Smurf and everybody. You know, I rotate it out. You know, I'll put Boba Fett and stuff like that. Storm Shadow is over here. He's kind of wobbly, but he's over here in the case. But you know, these are things that bring me joy, and I can't believe, you know, I own a green Cobb.